Sheffield Wednesday fans, what on earth is going on at your football club? No wins in 10 in the Championship. Really up against it. Just last week, the man at the top, Daifon Chansiri, told angry protesting fans he would no longer put any more money into the football club unless they started showing him a bit more respect. And then apparently Tuesday's 1-0 defeat at the hands of West Brom proved to be the straw that broke the camel's back for Xisco Munoz, who was asked post-match, you feel the pressure?
I have the pressure at my first day. I know the situation, I know how I arrived here, I know what is the pasa here, and I know my first press conference. I mean, I know everything. One of the things is important, everybody understand. And one of the things, the most important is how we can change. It's only about that. I know it's stronger, also it's stronger for me. But for me it's a big challenge. And we try to change the situations. After, I agree with the fans about the results. I'm so sorry, with humility, we continue working very hard for try to change this situation.
Well, I'm quite sure you'd like to have continued working very hard, but then Chansiri decided to enter the stage and he's been sacked. Munoz went yesterday. Simon, it's hard to phrase this in any other way. Sheffield Wednesday, one of England's proudest clubs with a phenomenal history, has it now become a complete basket case of a football club?
Been a basket case of a football club for a long time. Not the fans. I know I made an observation last week with lots of Sheffield Wednesday fans that wanted to pick me up on, which is that they're not supporting their side.
You called them fair weather fans.
No, Martin Keown called them fair weather.
No, you did.
No, Martin Keown said, are you suggesting they're fair weather fans? I made the observation that the fans... Did. No, Martin Keown did. And I made the observation on the back of what he said. Because he's the one that said fair weather. Let's get the accuracy of it. I criticised them.
We'll find it.
Go ahead, please do. I said that they weren't supporting their football club. They're the ones that constantly tell people that they own their football club. And then when you're getting crowds of 28,000, of which 3,000 or 4,000 are the away support, and you've got a capacity of 32,000, you've got back into the Championship, there are 30% of the capacity of that football club that aren't supporting their football club in a time when it needs to be supported, not their owner. Is it a basket case? No, it's a brilliant football club with great support and an honest support. That this sort of club that, if I'd have been Northern, I would have loved to have owned because it's got this huge legacy and this huge feeling, and it's one of those clubs that if you get it half right, they'll come with you. But this guy owns it, has been a challenge for the Sheffield Wednesday fan base since the moment he walked through the door. He's always been an odd lot. And whilst you can't deny his commitment of £160 million, and I'm sure somebody will be able to point out to me it's not £169 million, it's £159,500,000, just to be contrarian about it.
Well, I'd like to be accurate.
But the point is this, is that he has created a division between himself and the fans.
Yeah.
The achievements on the pitch for a very, very long time have not been where they should be. Yes, they got close with Carlos Carvajal, I think, on a couple of occasions. But Sheffield Wednesday have been out of the Premier League for a quarter of a century. And when you look at that and say a club that was once upon a time in 2 cup finals in a season, had great players that were in that side like Imre Varadi and people of that nature, and a side that was powerful, that were used, that their ground has been used, albeit it's associated with a terrible tragedy, but has been used for FA Cup semi-finals for years on after year, is now a club that has had challenge. And I remember, I've had this discussion with you before, going in their boardroom, listening to their executives talk at Football League meetings, and there was no surprise to me. Whatever I didn't do, Palace got promoted to the Premier League. Palace got into 3 or 4 playoff finals, of semi-finals, because of the ambition of the club. We're not a bigger club than Sheffield Wednesday. Why was Sheffield Wednesday languishing at the bottom of the league, getting relegated into League One? Because the ownership models, whether it be with Dave Allen or whether it be with the current guy, don't get the zeitgeist of what they've got. A tiger by the tail there with that football club. And here they are now in the Championship. And what happens when all that goodwill goes through the floor, Darren Moore goes out the door, and now you've got an owner writing a letter to the fans saying, it's my ball, and I don't like the way you're criticising it, so I'm taking it away.
What do you think? How does he want this to be demonstrated until the fans start showing him more respect, the owner, Chansiri?
No,
how did he do that?
There's no measurement for that, is there? This isn't the Laffer curve where you can work out how many taxes you get, and if you tax too much, you got to reduce the taxation to get better economy skills. This is basically an emotive outburst from somebody saying, I don't like it, so I'm going to threaten you. And then when he changes his mind, because it's a ridiculous statement, if he doesn't fund this football club, he's going to hurt himself.
Yeah.
Right? As much as he hurts them.
Listen, who's going to come in? You've spoken to Warnock.
I've had the briefest of conversations with him about it.
Tell us then.
I don't think so. You can never know with these guys because they're they spin on a sixpence. But I think he feels that he needs a little bit of a break. I think he might look at the Rangers job if it was interesting to him. But I think the Sheffield Wednesday job, I think probably is a little bit too soon for him to come back in post Huddersfield. He hasn't said that before, Luke. I can hear you through the headpieces. What he said was, this is the last job. In previous incarnations, this is my last job. There'll be no other job for me. This will be my last job.
All right.
And then he's gone on to do another 15 jobs.
Yeah, well, exactly.
But he's not saying this is his last job.
Do you
He's
know
saying
Simon?
Too soon.
Any prospective manager would need to think very carefully. Do you go into Sheffield Wednesday just now with any degree of optimism you're going to stay there very long? They prop up the Championship at the moment. Yes, they've got a brilliant support, but they've got the fella at the top who's very unhappy himself.
You've got to give it right that he gave Darren Moore a lot of support. And they had the biggest wage budget, I believe, and if someone wants to correct me, they had the biggest wage budget in League One.
Right.
So he backed the guy, and that's why there was this rumour going around with 93 points. If Darren Moore doesn't get him promoted, he's going to get sacked. Everyone was going, bloody hell, that's a bit steep. You don't get promoted on 93 points. But if the job was, Darren, I give you this, you give me that, and you don't give me that, then there has to be a consequence for it.
Let's grab a quick chat as we head to 11 o'clock with Peter, Sheffield Wednesday fan who's been waiting patiently. Peter, what's going on at your club?
Well, I think quite a lot of Sheffield Wednesday fans this morning were waking up thinking it's Christmas Day. They're so pleased to be rid of a manager who was totally clueless.
Right. Okay.
I've seen every second of Munoz's games, pre-season, league matches, cup matches, being away to Spain, and not one of his games inspired me at all. Not one of his games or any moment was on the edge of my seat.
Okay, well, we'll bow to your knowledge on that. Peter, who do you think they should go for?
Well, obviously Neil Thompson's got it temporary, and it might be unpopular, but send for the firefighter, Neil Warnock.
Yeah, you were like Simon Sean Warnock. Just before you go, Peter, Chansiri is calling for a number of things, not least a bit more respect from the fans. Does he deserve it?
In some respects, yes, for the 150, 160 million that he's quoted. But he's continually committing commercial suicide by these ridiculous statements. And you can guarantee, get your microphones, recorders ready, you're going to get another one when he announces the next manager. Absolutely nailed on, guaranteed it.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.